Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Holiday Doc. Thanks for tuning into the Friday Night Procast. I've got a very special guest next to me.
What's up, guys? Turbo here, and tonight we have Team FaZe going up against Team Virtue. Excited to see these two teams go at it. It's going to be some pretty intense matchup, I think we have, Doc.
You never know. I always get in trouble calling things well before we get underway. Just like last Friday Night Procast, I said that Webb was going to do phenomenal. Turns out they got schmangled, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep my comments to myself. We'll see how things go, but I'm a fan of FaZe. If you are unaware, FaZe has 2 parts New Breed, 2 parts Team FaZe, and so I'm going to be rooting for those guys for sure, but we're going to be getting underway, and these guys have chosen their own maps, and as you can see, we're just going to be here spectating and giving you guys the business end of the commentary, I guess you could say. Yeah. And can't thank you enough, Turbo. You're always saving my butt. It always seems like these other podcasters, they could be, I think they're afraid, man. I think they are scared to get on camera in front of all these people here at the beautiful Yosh Live event thing that we do here every Friday. So
maybe. But just don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. There will be more of these casts going on every Friday, as well as other days as well. I'm sure there is something planned in the future. And also, I'm going to go ahead and shout it out. The Online Codcaster. Check it out on YouTube.
Oh, selfless promotion.
Selfless promotion, yes. And our Twitter, as well as twitter.com/onlinecodcaster.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Why don't you go ahead and give these wonderful spectators a little taste of what we're doing over at the Online Codcaster?
Surely, at the Online Codcaster, it's a bunch of us codcasters online.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say.
You don't say. Did I just put you on the spot? Did you choke?
No. Putting up videos for all of you fine people out there who enjoy Call of Duty and enjoy our casting. Just to throw out a few names out there, we have Bryce, Golden Boy, Benton, Doc himself, Paradox, myself, Advice, as some of you guys might know himself, and we have a few others as well. So whenever you get a chance, check out the channel. It's youtube.com/theonlinecodcaster.
Absolutely. The Online Codcasters, worldwide coverage brought to you 7 days a week, 365, hopefully. We're still testing that part out. But we're working very hard to bring you guys the best content out there. And I'm going to jump on board with Mr. FaZe Heist as he's working his way around the backside. Now he's pulling the carpet room, but he hasn't spotted anybody, which is kind of interesting. Finally picks up his first kill, and the rotation is a little unorthodox from what I'm used to seeing on this map so far.
Oh, yeah, me too. And it does seem like that FaZe is in complete control of that first hard point. Looking at the breakout, too, I think they just gave it up there. They all split from that hard point. Nobody was there to defend it. Looking at the overview, and now it's in control of Team Virtue. I just blanked out for a second.
Just blanked. You blanked your blanking mind. Yes, but you know, an interesting thing that I'm going to point out here really quickly is there was no positional control from either FaZe or Virtue for the second hardpoint. Only now have they started to make their way over to the treehouse area, which traditionally you don't see. You usually see, you know, one solid AR player try to make his way up into that top side and control the spawns and make sure the cutoffs are always there previous to 30 seconds on the next hardpoint switch.
Yeah, exactly, and they didn't have that that anchor position, which is actually a cool thing to have now. Instead of just having your standard OBJ, your Slayer role, now you have one that is the anchor, and like Doc was talking about, the one with the AR who could keep people away from the next coming up hardpoint. Exhaust with a nice 3-piece there, taking them out as he...
I've got to talk about that gun. I am not a fan of those stupid pistols being in competitive play. It is beyond ridiculous. And I personally think we need to see a massive rule set change before we actually get to MLG Dallas. Because the dual cap 40s, let's be honest, is not spectator friendly.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a run and gun and get in there. You don't even have to aim. And really, I mean,
there's no skill needed. You just pull the trigger, you get the kills. That's how we roll. I mean,
we're going to see right now, Bernie is in that next hard point, getting control of it. He did have all 3 of his score streaks out. He put down a sentry gun right in front of the hard point. That's a good way to defend it, but they just took it out. I mean, now it's all in favor of Team FaZe already. They just swapped it over, but he still has his Hailstorm missile as well as Lightning Streak going on. And once again, how much time do we have here in this hardpoint? 30 seconds. Let's see if anyone's going for the push. Bernie's already in the next hardpoint already.
Yeah, I see that, and he's, playing it safe, poking out every once in a bit, trying to land that kill there over on the FaZe member, but he's got 2 score streaks in the pocket, and he's going to be rushed here pretty quickly. He's got to hold on to this, and he does have a pistol, the B-23R, which I assumed he was going to be rocking. Any close quarter matchups, you're not going to be one of having that MA out, as it's not that reliable. The hipfire is kind of sketchy, so good choice here on the B-23.
Yeah, and noticing his loadout as well, he does have a trophy system, so that's going to signify that he is going to be pretty much the anchor position, because once you are the opposing team, you are going to want to start nading, stun checking, nading, seeing if anyone is in that next position, and that is just going to deter anything from any projectiles coming in. So that's a good way to go as well. I didn't even notice that until now, but he did give up something else. And let's switch over to someone who is in the hardpoint. That is going to be Folsom from FaZe. As I say that, Caster's Curse, Bernie's going to take him out himself.
I was waiting for it to happen because it's truly the Caster Curse. It's awful. I wonder why it happens. It's got to be some voodoo magic, whatever. But yeah, Folsom was in there laying down below the window. If you're unaware, if you lay down below the window, the enemy, when they jump in, have absolutely no idea that you're there. They can't see you. It's a visual effect or whatever, and it's a good little trick to put in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, Doc, I was on board here with Folsom the whole time from Team FaZe as he was running out, and he was using that shotgun like a pro, like a surgeon, if you will, just running in there and getting 3 kills on the way to the hard point, getting one headshot in there. It's just a dirty way to go, and I don't know what his secondary is, but we're going to see him get a kill there. Now he did pick up the M8A1. It's just going to make him even more dangerous. In fact, and now he does have 2 score streaks and 3 score streaks in hand now with a sentry gun, lightning strike, as well as a hailstorm. So he's doing some work for his team just using a shotgun.
Absolutely. He landed the smackage package as he moved over into top trios, grabbed the back-to-back kills, allowing his team to have a nice safe haven over on the hard point. Landing those score streaks, very crucial, especially on this particular hill, as this is kind of where all the score streaks end up getting called in. So it's really good that he's got 2 in the bag that can be used for the next time around, but the enemy is not having any luck breaking that hard point or getting any sort of leeway on the position right now.
Absolutely not. I mean, there is about a 17-point difference. That is not enough to call it yet.
Nope.
And in the hardpoint, there are 2 players from FaZe, and Heist right now is just going in. Still has his score streak in hand. He's got the Hailstorm as well as the Lightning. That 200 points right there in the first run is going to give him the sentry gun. Now, that was a smart play. Even though he did get killed, he was just a little bit away from getting that score streak. And sometimes now, like we were talking about in the last cast, you do have to think 3-dimensionally now, or 4th-dimensional, whatever you want to call it. But you have to think about your score streaks now, and that's going to give you the advantage when it comes time to play.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. You got to line up, positions with your teammates and make sure those callouts not only effectively relay, your positions, but also where you are at with your score streak points. Making sure if the next hard point's coming up, that 200 points, if you need 200 points, hey, call it out, get those points, call on a score streak.
Absolutely. Looking at the scoreboard now, Doc, I'm seeing that everyone from FaZe is pretty much positive in their kills, but also everyone from Virtue is negative as well. So that could be playing a factor into what is going on in this game, with the score being a 30-point spread right now. And the hardpoint is in control of Team Virtue, but now it's just going to switch over. But like I was saying, the score streaks are going to be playing a big role, especially on a map such as Yemen, where it's such an open space. Those airstreaks is, I'm going to go ahead and patent that name right now. Airstreaks.
I like
airstreaks.
It. Let's do it.
Airstreaks are going to come into play and be an integral part of the game here. So when it comes time to pick your score streaks, guys, just keep in mind of what map you are playing and use those, 30 seconds in lobby time to change it up.
You couldn't be any more right. And I haven't seen a lot of pro players vary their score streaks individually from game to game. And I'm really not sure why people haven't, traditionally set up for different style maps. And, the maps that have more indoors, they should be using more ground plannable score streaks instead of, over the air or in through the air attacks, the Hellstorm and the airstrike and such. But, the game is, fairly new competitively. I'm sure we'll see a lot of stuff. But Heist coming up huge there with a massive 3-piece, knocking them down as they try to make their way up that middle middle stairs section, and now he's going to be calling in that Hellstorm, trying to grab 2 more in the pocket before he sneaks up, but he just narrowly escapes, comes from behind, picks out Zost, and now he's on the hard point, holding it down.
Oh, man, that is a good playing by Heist there. I'm going to jump on board with him. He does have the lightning strike in hand. The hard point is open right now. No one is on their way over there. It does look like Virtue is on their way. Now that's 2 down. I don't know what happened there. Oh, that was Folsom with the lightning strike, and they are just struggling, Doc, right now, but they do have control, and Heist is just going to go in there and tear it up.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and say that both teams are really struggling with their overall game performance and just setups. It seems like both teams are countering very effectively, throwing each other off of their usual game types or game settings for this map. And I'm not seeing any defined setups being played out, or at least it doesn't seem that they're very effective, as both teams seem to be flopping hard points fairly rapidly.
Yeah, you're right, Doc. I mean, the hardpoint is such a completely new, competitive game type. You can call it domination on the go if you want another patent I'm going to make there. But, yeah, I mean, it's a completely new game type. We're not going to see any definitive strategies yet until MLG comes out, I think. And then we'll notice a pattern of what is proper and what is not, and what works, what doesn't. And we're going to see a lot more amateur teams, if not pro teams, using the same strats as others and see how that goes. But right now, I think it is a good idea that everyone does have that anchor player looking for that good, solid AR who can keep people away from the hard points when they go to switch. But, I mean, it's still indefinitive as to what strategy works out. So, like I said, also in the strategy, score streaks come into play.
So right there on the last hard point, Church was given away to Team Virtue for almost the entirety of that placement. So that's going to bring them back within just an arm's reach of picking it back up against FaZe. And FaZe really dropped the ball there. They did not hold down to any positioning or get any good spawns on that last hard point, and it's going to cost them very significantly right now.
Yeah, it is. And now, if we just take a look at the score, guys, it is about 30 seconds out. And if Team Virtue does control this hard point for the remainder of the game here, they're going to go ahead and win it. But it's just being contested. They are unable now to come back for the win. And this first map is going to go for Team FaZe right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we didn't see any sort of smash from either team. You know, a nice close matchup is much more enjoyable to cast, as well as for the viewers' sake. So good job for both teams battling it out back and forth. Unfortunately, Virtue not coming up very strong. And, you know, just kind of recapping this game, from what I saw was, you know, a really slow start from FaZe. You know, they were sluggish to move around the middle part of the map. They didn't get the initial spawn flop that they were kind of looking for, at least from my perspective. And then they were slow to transition from point to point. Only in the middle parts of the games were they able to capitalize on some major hard points, you know, Church being one of them with Folsom on the shotgun play, and then, you know, the top statue where they were able to hold those for both the 60-second